Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us now, this is round 4 of the Valor Cup, one of the first Valorant tournaments in the OCE scene, presented by AO eSports. I'm Peronius. Joining me tonight is my partner in crime, Temporal. Our first match of the evening saw Cybernova play against the Titanian Savages, and that was definitely a savaging, with a dominant 13-0 performance coming through in favor of the Titanium Savages.
I'm surprised that some Savages were able to get their hands on Titanium. It came a little later in human development, but they put it to good use. And it was interesting that you see the Savages playing off against Cybernova. You expect a team like Cybernova to have a little more technical expertise, but in the end, weren't able to get the job done, and that's okay. They're still on 2 wins, 1 loss. They can still bring it back. They can make a run to playoffs if they win the remainder of the matches left in the tournament. But that's that match, and now we move on to another match between 2 teams that still remain undefeated in the tournament. Legion versus the Dire eSports team, who are currently sitting on 3-0 win-loss record. So, another top-of-the-table clash for us tonight.
Yeah, both of these teams, again, they are towards the top of things. They are putting in a great performance there. Both of them doing really well. Dire eSports, the only team that has been really pushed so far with a very narrow match. 13-12 victory in their favor there, so in the end, a very close call on that one compared to a lot of the other teams. A lot of the rest of these teams have been sort of sailing through as we work our way through Swiss in relatively easy matches. But Dire eSports, they've proven themselves against a tough opponent.
Yeah, and as we move on, as is the nature of Swiss, the matches should get more and more even. So undefeated teams, the field is shrinking for their number. And as we go forward in the tournament, that shrinking field will produce more challenging matches. So I expect to see a lot more out of this match, particularly, hopefully more than a 13-0 to be a bit of a bummer to start out our Valor Cup broadcast on that front. And, I mean, you know what else isn't a disappointment, Pyronius? My Republic Gamer. They are a fantastic ISP and they offer a great package for gamers.
Absolutely. If you are looking for a broadband provider that will prioritize you and your needs as a gamer, check out My Republic for their unique features.
Indeed, and well, hopefully both of these teams are My Republic customers, because you want a stable, quick connection for a game, particularly like Valorant, a tactical shooter. Your split-second decision and split-second aiming is absolutely crucial for getting the job done. Sometimes it's the pixel out of place on your player model can make the difference between life and death.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of life or death, though, if we just circling back to before, we are now over halfway through the Swiss bracket. We are on to round 4, which means we've had 3 rounds to sort of sort out the wheat from the chaff. This is where we start to see a bit of better matchups. The first couple of rounds of Swiss are always a bit wonky, because obviously it takes a while to sort of sort out these teams. But the closer we get towards the end of the
Regular season.
Yeah, exactly. End of the regular season, the tighter these matches are going to get as we move towards our playoffs.
That we are, and only the top 4 teams make it to playoffs. So really, at this point in the competition, you don't want to be throwing away any easy wins, because when we get down to the final round, there will only be 1 undefeated team left in the tournament. So you can afford to drop a match if you win the rest of them, but you don't want to be doing it in these early stages, maybe against a team that you didn't think was as strong. You don't put it in there all. You go down in a tight 13-12, but then you've really put yourself on the back foot, making your way to the playoffs for that share of that sweet $200 prize pool.
Absolutely. And if you're wondering why us casters are holding this game hostage, because as we all learnt recently in esports, casters are the ones that control when the game starts. It's because we're waiting for the Swiss bracket to be fully resolved, waiting for the teams to be posted up. We do know who these teams, at least we thought we knew We were pretty sure who this one would be, but we are just waiting for the information to filter down through all the teams to get everyone into these lobbies. So bear with us as that happens.
Just looking through the bracket for the first matches of the night, we're seeing at least one 13-12 in there. I'm seeing a couple of 13-11, 13-10. So matches are definitely getting closer, although we are still seeing a lot of 13-0s coming up from the matches. So the brackets are getting a bit cleaner. Just looking back at the previous night's results, generally, yeah, there were mostly one-sided matches. So the Swiss bracket is proving itself. I mean, not that we're here to prove or disprove Swiss. It's been around for a while. I'm pretty sure it works, and the Swiss are very good with the numbers. That's why they have all the banks.
That is true. But we're just basically awaiting at this stage for all the players to get into the lobby. And it's going to be interesting. So the first match tonight, we played on
Split.
Split, that's the one. I get my map names mixed up. But we played on Split, and we saw just sort of a lot of struggling from our
Cybernova.
Yeah, from our attacking team, Cybernova, who a lot of the time they got into their staging areas, but then they didn't really have the tools to initiate. And especially after the first couple of rounds, it's an intimidating task to pull the trigger on that against an opponent that's stronger than you. But they seem to be lacking on initiation tools and lacking on initiations in general. And I'm wondering if that's just because it's such a new game and people are still getting a feel for things, people are still learning how to initiate, or if it was just a particular shortcoming of that roster, and maybe as we head into some of these other teams, we're going to be seeing much cleaner initiations coming through and much more decisive ones. Because certainly it's always a mixed bag in the games I play.
I certainly get the feeling that it was a large part because Titanium Savages are that good. You even saw within the scenarios where there were a couple of players down. The Spike was down. Cybernova had control of the Spike site. Titanium Savages are able to re-engage. One or more of their players goes absolutely ham, clears away the rest of the attackers, and the defuse came through. So that will really, Titanium's going to be a team to watch out for in the competition, and going forward, one or both of these teams may end up facing off against them in the next couple of rounds. So hopefully after tonight, they go back and watch the VOD so they can maybe get a little insight into how Titanium Savages plays and give them a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, definitely be good to see, especially after they went 13-0 there, see them face a bit more in the way of challenge. But, I mean, that's what we're ultimately after here. Just some good matches showcasing the best of what OC Valorant can be.
Indeed. And I mean, speaking about Valorant, we talked a bit before about just the bare bones nature of the game itself so far. Would you be wanting to see more maps introduced or more agents introduced in the short-term future?
I think more maps is probably more important to me than more agents, although obviously I know Riot is planning to release a new agent every
3 months or something.
Yeah, they said something like every 3 months, and I mean that's all well and good, but at the moment we've only got 4 maps. It's not a lot. I'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 more maps into the pool. I also at the moment I feel like we've got a bit of variety on the agents at the moment. I mean, we certainly do have some that are much higher pick rates than others just because of the unique utility they bring, looking at you, Sage, and also Cypher. But at the same time, there is a bit of variety in the options. You've got multiple heroes that you can use for smokes with different ways of providing those smokes. Same with flashes. So there's I feel there's a decent amount of variety there, and the more variety of agents you get in there, the harder it is to really bring in that counterplay, especially with the current pick system where you don't pick based on your opponent's picks at all. With it being a blind pick, you really don't want too many options in there, especially too many really different options, because things just get really wonky and hard to play around, I suppose.
Like, given Riot is known particularly for League of Legends, we could end up in a position where we have so many agents that we might just get a standard pick ban like we do in a MOBA.
That is true, and I mean the other
Maybe that would be their
other
answer to
league
it.
example is that there is realistically only one map, so lots of agents and few maps is definitely on par for the brand.
Oh, well, so far we do have a little bit of pick ban here in the Valor Cup. We can at least ban maps. So Bind and Split have been banned. We will be seeing another map coming out, and unfortunately for you Pyronis, it's not going to be your favourite map, Bind, off the table, but I could be in luck. Haven still maybe in order. And you know what? I don't mind if it's Haven or Ascent, but it looks like Haven might be the map chosen, with Legion opting for defense first. So it will be Legion on defense, Dire eSports starting out on the attack.
That's going to be an interesting one, because obviously the defense of Haven can be a bit rough. 3 sites, although B and C, they're kind of... It's very easy to rotate between B and C. They share a lot of defensive positions. So there's not too much to worry about there. But I mean, you still have to split your resources over a wide area.
Yeah, you typically see a 2-1-2 or a 2-2-1. That's A, B, and C respectively. Because C, I feel, is the map is the spike site we see where teams do opt for that one player hold. Generally, a Cypher or a Sage, something that can lock down a site on its own, is invested there.
Yeah, I mean, Garage is, basically a spot that defends both C and B, so you've always got someone posted up there, and once you've got that locked down, it's really just C long, and you just stick an Op or a Marshal on that, maybe a Guardian, and you're pretty set.
Well, we're about to get into it. The team's just making final preparations, girding their loins, topping up their water, getting ready to jump into the match. I'm excited to see what we pull out, especially seeing as both of the teams are in the lobby. I'm seeing some, you know what, it's probably not on stream, but you can't see. There's a couple of shared profile pictures there. The cute dog with that tongue poking out, Ilu and Zany both sitting on top of that. Aww.
Alright, we should be heading into it in but a moment, and of course by heading into it, I mean heading into the Hero Select screen that has absolutely nothing going on for us here. So we'll be forced to just wildly speculate what these teams are picking. It'd be really good if we could see what the two sides are picking in this screen. Like, Riot, please.
It would be. I will be curious to find out this match if it's the first time we see one of those good old dragon guns come out on stream. I know I saw one of the players had their profile picture as the dragon. I don't know if that specifically comes in the bundle or you can buy it separately. Maybe they just really like that profile picture, even though I don't think you really see it in a ranked match.
No, I mean, so I've heard a lot of people speak very negatively of the guns because they find them very distracting. I mean, you got this thing that's like moving back and forth where your gun should be. It's movement that isn't related to enemies, so I can see why that's a bit of a turn-off for some people. I think the most I've usually seen of that set has been the knife, which is of course very popular, and people love their fancy knives in these games. CS is anything to go by, so.
Well, come on. If you love your knife so much, people, bring them out more. Just go make an agreement. Second round after the pistol round, it's generally a bit one-sided. Make it a bit fairer. Say knives only in second round. I want to see some knife kills on the kill feed, like a hammer kill in Overwatch. It's just fun to see. Not necessarily the most useful thing, but just liven up the day. Sometimes it's just what you need to bring up the team morale and get yourselves back into a match. Go for a knife-only round.
It goes here.
And as perhaps predicted, we will be seeing Legion setting up Cypher on that C site. Going to have Raze playing in Garage. Going to have Omen hanging back, looking like moving to A now. We've got Sova also playing A, and of course Sage playing B, where she can rotate to where she's needed. Looks like the hit's going to come in onto B. maybe rotate into C depending on what they see, but they should come straight into B here because it is vulnerable.
Well, B is not often a site you see attacked, but Dire eSports wasting no time getting in there. Pixelic finishing off Struts, the opening blow in this fight. Azuliate pops around the side. They trade out for Jars. Currently, Dire eSports has the advantage, and Owl Drone giving Fate a little vision. They can see the spikes now, but not quite finding any of the attackers. They seem to have cleared off the site.
Yeah, it's a good strategy here because it makes it really dangerous to push that. And we've actually got, Sage is just sitting there in garage.
Oh, they don't see Zimbal! Sorry, they don't see Zimbat behind the wall. Finishes off one. Zany picks up another. Just the one lone sofa. Zuliate pops out, but in the end, Reason finishing off. That will be the first round going to Dire eSports.
Yeah, good opening there from Dire eSports, but it is just the pistol round. It is going to give them an advantage going into this second round. They do have the money to force buy if they want to. We're actually just seeing a whole bunch of shorties coming out from the members of Legion, so probably a lot of lurking behind corners with that sawn-off shotgun. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of marshals coming out here for the attackers, and a couple of players just sticking to those pistols as well. And push coming down on C means that none of those shorties are going to be in position to take advantage of it.
Well, they know where they're coming from. The Cypher cam was there. Reason getting the spike down in the middle of the paint shells. Struct finishing off the kill, but just a millisecond after the spike was planted. Now the re-engage is on, but can they do it with all these shorties?
Yeah, I don't know, because they're not going to be able to get these engagements at the sort of range they want. Especially with these marshals looking down C long, it's going to be really hard to get in there.
Struct plugging away, a few shots onto the attacking Sage. Ilu starts onto Zany, somehow finding up close. But there you go, the monitor rings out. Praxelic finishing off two, gets taken down for their trouble. But right now, Zimbet holding on. Oh my god, the re-engage is good! What? Oh, will the spike go off?
No! So close!
Oh, Dire eSports got so lucky there.
I'm just impressed with Legion being able to make that retake happen. They had a handful of shorties coming down C long, and they managed to make it work. I'm really impressed, and if they can keep up that, this could be a series, because that, as I said, I completely counted them out. I'm like, oh, they're pushing against a Marshall with shorties down long, no chance.
But they did get the job done, and now it's a full buy from them. They put a bit of hurt on Dire eSports. They're not going to be too far ahead economy-wise, but this is the round that will count for a lot. ARs across the board.
Exactly, and Ilu opens up.
Quick answer back from Dire. They even the odds. 2v2 on the site. Spike will be planted, and a heal coming out from Anorexic. And that Brim hale and hearty for the moment. They're forced to back off. Legion makes their way onto the point.
Yeah, moving forward slowly, clearing these corners. They're going to tap and bait the defuse, but ooh.
Oh, the orbital strike comes out to try and stop the defuse. Oh! It's good for the moment. It forces Azulier into Anorexic's path. Just struck left. There's a dragon.
Hey!
Breaking away, but in the end, it will be the Sage picking up their third kill of the round. Dire eSports, 3 on the trot.
Yeah, great performance there from Anorexic, who managed to pick that one up. After losing the initial duel, gets back into cover, very low health, and then takes up 2 with that. So great turnaround there. And, well, that is the turnaround, because now the economy absolutely in favor of the attackers here.
Yeah, they're well in control of this match. We're at the risk of seeing a repeat of the first match of the night. Oh no, Jars going down early. Currently sitting near the top of the defensive leaderboard. That's a big gun out of the fight. Spike down, and Dire eSports for the 4th round in a row, wasting no time getting onto a site.
Yeah, complete turnaround here from what we saw previously. Now it's just Illus and Fate, and we might be seeing Ilu looking to save this, it's a sheriff, isn't it? I wanted to call it a deagle, and I'm like, nah. But no, he's going to start up. That's one. That could be a gun recovered by him as well, especially with that flash there. That is going to let him grab that Phantom. And yeah, he's going to go and save that now by the looks of it. And I can't blame him. It's 1v4.
Well, you got to take whatever you can out of these rounds. If you're Legion, you're 4-0 down. Your economy.
Ooh. Oh no!
Oh, what?
Oh!
Oh.
That was not the save he was intending. Oh, you hate to see it.
Dire eSports felt like they had unfinished business and thought, you know what, we got this. We don't need to kill him. We'll just lure him in. But it did provide enough that Ilu is now sitting with an op, the first one coming out of the match. We'll see if they can make an impact. Now, so far, the most impactful player from Legion.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like so they look like they were stacking up for an A push, so they're going to be running straight into it, and there it is. Ilu straight into Reason. Big opening there, but Anorexic gonna get put the wall up and just get out of dodge there.
Take flight.
Blue has of course dropped back to heaven there with the teleport. It looks like they're rotating around. They're going to push down C long.
Yeah, they've reconsidered that approach into A. We don't really want to go after the op. From the shadows invested by Pax, just to throw a little spanner into the works, but in the end, it's just a reposition with the rest of their team. That suspiciously shaped cloud burst going to protect the spike as it goes down. Then back pops around the side, but Struct taking care of business. Azuli 8 ready and waiting, sitting on the side of the cyber trap. The spike is not going to get out. The showstopper stopping any thought of a plant. This is the round Legion was looking for. They're back in this. It is just Anorexic left, and this might just be the save. They might go for their trades, Poronius, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything done.
Yeah, I honestly, with a 1v4 as Sage, I'd be looking to run over to A and maybe pick up that orb there if it hasn't been claimed, but I suppose any ult progress you can get would be nice. In the end, Struct puts an end to that one. Sure enough, the defense will start getting it on the board.
I believe it was Ilu with the op, so they were still alive anyway. So there's always the risk that if you run around too far on the map, you step your foot around the corner and bam, get it taken away. But it is Legion getting their first round win on the board. Is this the start of their comeback, or is it just Dire eSports letting them have one for their morale?
To say there, got a couple of ultimates online for this round though, including Jars with the res, which can be an opportunity to salvage a round.
Oh, this could be an Omen duel.
Oh, he gets picked up.
Each other. Yeah, Ilu spotted out, taken down very early. Another good opening for Legion. They take advantage of it.
Fate trying to get some damage down on top of that, on top of Paxilic, but nothing serious. Does manage to strip the shields though. But now the push is starting to rotate around, and this op is going to make a lot of danger here for any defenders at B.
Reason finding Struct in the middle of that, clearing the path to C. The spike site is wide open. Trapwires will be disposed of. That dark cover and the barrier invested. No one will be approaching from the defending spawn. Rotation from Legion. Coming through.
This duel with Jars, and there it is. Jars wins the duel against Zany, and that will be the res invested.
And the resurrection onto Struct to make the re-engage. Even a 4v4 currently. Legion looking for a path back onto the point, but no. Struct walks into Zimbat, traded out, but then Anorexic is there to cover. And it's a little too late. Can Jars get the kill? Yes, the healer will be there, but still 2 players remaining. Spike not enough time to be diffused, and that will be Reason finishing it off for Dire eSports.
Yeah, it's a rough position because you need to clear C long there. You know they've got an op, and, well, you're not going to be able to get the defuse off when it's inside of that, but having to 1v2 down long against an op with a ticking bomb on the ground, not a situation to be envied.
No, it's not. And Pax managed to hold on. Oh, sorry, he's still holding on to the op there. They're not choosing to throw it over to anyone else, so maybe the Omen is the op player. It's something you don't often see. Usually it's the Jet, I find, is the op player. That maneuverability that she has is so good for getting into weird and wonderful positions.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one, but Omen's definitely got his own mobility with the teleport and that ult as well, so...
Speaking of teleport, oh, it got cancelled. Ilu was trying to be fancy, but spotted out. There's the Hunter's Fury, swims through the point. May pick up a couple of tags at the end of that, but ultimately nothing really coming of it, just buying some time. Pax spots Azulier, says, goodbye, Mr. Cypher. No more intel fuse. Zimbat pushes into the dark cover, not going to find anything with that wild spray. That will be the second round win for Legion. The orbital strike coming down late in the round, but it's not going to be required. Bit of a waste, maybe.
Yeah, the orbital strike doesn't come down early enough to stop the defuse, and that really hurts, because obviously it's a very powerful ult to stop those defuses, but I mean, not if you don't get it out until it's too late. So with that, another round going over in favor of the defense. Still quite a difference between these two teams to yet be made up, though.
Yeah, there is. Fate. The recon dart over the top. Just a standard intel gathering exercise. Going to spot any approach towards A. Hopefully they've spotted those three members ready and waiting. Anorexic firing into Garage, removing the armor from the door. Stimpy get a little bit of benefit. Marches in, spots Azuliate. Removes the Cypher from the action. That's a lot of intel and importantly no neural theft available for the defenders. A fully healed Sage on the board to boot.
Yeah, Jar's in a position here where she's going to be... Oh, that's one!
Oh, nice play. Picking out Reason, that aggression from the attackers not paying off this time, Zimbat. Loses their life. The barrier's on the Spike site right now, but Spike not able to be planted just yet. The defenders in a position to make things happen if Dire eSports commit to this.
Yeah, this is going to be really... The timing for this is going to be absolutely crucial. Meanwhile, we've got rotations coming through. There it is. Jars gets the first kill onto Zany. That's going to give them the numbers advantage.
And it's going to identify exactly where the spike is. All Legion have to do is make sure no one from Dire eSports can pick it up. With 20 seconds left on the clock, they're going to have to make a move. Anorexic makes a move around the corner, but Struct spotting that out, ready and waiting. We'll likely see Pax backing off, keeping that op. Not wanting to give it up cheaply in a round they've pretty much lost.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get that bomb down, especially not running into a 1v4 controlled site with an op. Not the best gun for taking for ground, rather for holding it. So, rightfully so, backs away with that one. We're starting to see the comeback. See if they can keep up this momentum here, because, I mean, when you look at it, it's kind of even. Because when you win the pistol round, the first round after the pistol round, it's kind of a given anyways, as much as we saw it actually being really close in that instance. So once you take that out of the equation, it's kind of these teams trading evenly, so...
Gonna be a very early teleport from Pax. Wanted to get into a surprise position with the op, as the rest of Dire eSports following up, putting pressure onto A. Oh, that's a nice shot. Removing Ilu off the top of those boxes. The Omen trying to be sneaky, but not sneaky enough to fool a fellow Omen. Reason marches in. Eliminates Fate. Shows invested. And annihilates Reasons. A Struct getting one back for the defending team, but now stymied by the smoke and the dark cover up in heaven. They're going to have to push out in a risky move. Reasons brought back into the fight. Currently, Dire eSports in control of the point, but defenders moving in, they're getting a couple of kills. Spike has been planted. The odds yet again even. Oh, sorry, not even. Sorry, Dire eSports in a 3v1. Legion may just want to hold on to this resurrection. Even if it means giving away the round.
It comes down to maybe after you get that first kill, you go for the res, but it's pretty dangerous as well because someone could pop up. There it is. Used onto Ilu.
Oh, Jars gets a tag. Finishes off Reason, but Zane taking out the Sage. But the job may have been done. The neural theft identifying exactly where Ilu is, trying to defuse. It's now or never. Dark cover is providing a little bit of protection, but in the end,
oh, that was so
close.
close.
Will run out as Zany marches in, finishing off Ilu. Almost nicely played. Well, everyone died.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the opening fight in that between the two Omens there, because neither of them were actually ready for the other one. Both of them had moved to try to get to that position early, and neither of them expected the other to be there yet. In the end, Ilu is the winner of that particular trade. Pax, sorry, was the winner of that particular trade, and sets up the team to almost pick up that round.
I think, yeah, looking up out of those sewers, you're already looking up, so seeing someone's feet on the box is not a complete surprise.
Yeah, it was just that he was there so early was what took him off, and of course you don't want to leg them and have them not die from the shot either.
Is the op? You just shoot both legs and it's probably going to take them down. Pax leaps out of the shadows. Doesn't really surprise anyone, just regrouping with the rest of their team. It's the second time they've used their ultimate just to do that. The defenders rotating around to B. They know that the play is here. Struct removes 2 as they enter the site. That's going to give the numbers over to Legion. Zany gets one back onto Giles. No healing going to be available for the defense of either team, really. Is Struct on top of the boxes, picks up their third of the round. Can they get the defuse? No, it was Zimbat in the corner, taking care of business. Sitting in that smoke, Fate hunted, but in the end it will be Fate and Ilu cleaning up. The defuse will just get there in time. Legion close to within 2 rounds of Dire eSports.
Yeah, as I said, these teams trading back and forth rather evenly now after the sort of initial momentum from the pistol round has gone away. Now we're starting to get to the point, however, where the economy is coming into play because, well, one of these teams is going to be playing with just power pistols by the looks of it. No armor, just power pistols. The other team still going to have all of those rifles there. So, bit of a rough round for Dire eSports coming up, but we've seen miracles with pistols before. We'll see if it happens again.
Well, it'll be their first tough round of the match. They've been in command for so long. We'll see how the shoe fits on the other foot. And this time, this is probably the first time in 10 rounds, they're not making a beeline straight for a specific point. They're waiting.
Yeah, I like the change of pace. I mean, with the power pistols, you don't have that much of a choice, but the change of pace also means, because they've been so aggressive so far, you're more likely to get the defenders looking to push forwards. And in fact, Struck does just that, picking up Anorexic. So already a vulnerability on this attacking side, who are spread out. They've got the spike left back where it's safe. They're just trying to play for picks, trying to get an opening into this round, recover a gun. But Ilu is going to pick up
Pax. Just walking up A main with the shotgun. Not really going to get much done out of that. Struck picks up their second, picks up their third, having a great round. As Legion, they're 1 kill away, or 30 seconds from only being 1 round behind.
Yeah, looking to tie it up by the end of the half, and they definitely have the potential to do so here. Especially Zany, the bottom of the board, and just doesn't manage to get that short-range shot against Struck, gets gunned down by the Vandal. So that will be the eco round going in favor there of the team that has guns. Not the most surprising result. Now we're into the final round of the half. Unfortunately, Anorexic not able to get the full armor out of this one, so still a bit of a disadvantage economically there for the members of Dire eSports.
Geez, no one even willing to spot for the armor, saying, no, you know what, you've been wasteful with your money, I'm not going to enable that kind of behavior.
Well, I don't think anyone has enough money to be able to pick it up. After all, you can't buy armor for other people, you can only buy the guns, and no one's got enough spare cash to be able to float them the rifle.
No, but emboldened by having their big ARs in hand, they're making a beeline straight for A.
Oh,
Utility invested by both sides. Yeah, Ilu picking up 2 headshots aplenty for this Omen. Absolutely lighting things up, picks up the third. What an engagement onto the point. Fate finding Zany a showstopper. Can it make any difference? No, but that's okay. The damage has been done. It is just Anorexic left, and there's no resurrection. Means this Sage will be the last player alive on their team, unless they're able to pick up a 3k at some point.
Yeah, just pick up a 3k, get the res, win the round. Easy.
It's a casual 3k. You know how it is. I mean, this happens all the time in our ranked games, doesn't it? There you go. One down. Spots out the second, but in the end, Azuliate too good as Legion even things up going into the half.
Yeah. It's good comeback there from Legion. They had a rough opening, losing the first 4 rounds, but they don't let it upset them. They're able to trade back. In the end, they get the economy in their favor, and I mean that's ultimately where the game is. Once you get enough of an advantage, once you break your opponent's economy, that's when you start to pick up those rounds for free, and that's exactly what they do. Now we're going back into the pistol round, and a lot of players here with the Ghosts. The definitely the favorite in the pistol rounds. Expensive buy, but you know, you're usually able to get the basic utility for your character, plus a Ghost, and the long range power it brings is definitely well worth it here.
Struct putting it to good use early. Getting a slight tag onto Zimbat, who's forced to back off. The utility invested, they know A is the go. Well, they suspect A is the go to Dire eSports, but Legion actually split across the map looking for an opening. Struck makes the way on.
Down onto A. Ooh,
picks up Anorexic. Yeah, gets traded out for Zimbat, who picks up their second. Fate soon to join their raise. That's it. Legion moving up through the garage. They're going towards C. They'll have a slight numbers advantage for the moment. But that will wear off once Dire eSports rotations come through. But right now, they're not really wary. Zany leveling the odds. Picks up the second, holding on this. Cypher coming alive. Reason getting the final kill. And Dire eSports pulling one out of the bag.
Yeah, sometimes you think you're going up against the enemy team's bottom fragger, and sometimes it's like, look, it's just because I haven't been in many fights, but it's fine, I'm still good. And Zany picks up 2, cleans up
bottom fragger or top sandbagger?
Oh, there you go. And so, as a result, we're heading over into yet another, well, post-pistol round again. We've got a couple of marshals posted up on defense. We've got 3 shorties. Sorry, a couple of... Yeah, okay, yep. No, the colors are just different between the... spectator features. Wonderful. But yeah, so they'll be attacking with the shorties. That's going to be a bit rough. Hard to do.
They're trying to make it work, but oh, is this barrier going to go over the other one? Oh, it is! Oh, it's such a good play! Ilu gets in onto Anorexic. The Sage was not expecting that. A lot of utility invested. Reason still in the point.
Oh, Ilu!
Make an impact. Takes out Zany. Zimbat fights him from the sky with the monitor, but Reason popping around the outside, still leveling the odds. Zimbat securing the deal, and that will be Reason picking up their third of the round, plus the defuse for the extra creds. Oh, that was a nice play by Legion. I like the entry.
Yeah, oh look, that was exciting. I don't know where the stream was, unfortunately, but Ilu's teleport into short range there to sneak up on Zany, who was scoped in with the Marshal, didn't see it. Just phenomenal stuff. In the end, not enough to swing it over, and sure enough, the momentum continues in favor there. Now we're into the first proper gun round. This is going to be the opportunity here for Dire eSports to get themselves back into this one. Only a 2-round gap between the teams. Again, those pistol rounds, like the round after the pistol round is almost a free round, but in both of these, they've really fought to try and bring that one back.
Well, Jars investing a full clip of ammunition to take down part of the barrier. Not seeing anyone hiding behind it, because who would be that crazy, really? Ilu getting aggressive up towards the garage, just looking for an opportunity to move in. Opts not to use the Sky Smoker's cover we're seeing. Packs go down on the outside.
Yeah, and a lot of early aggression towards A has seen the defenders rotating towards it, even as the attack actually rotates back towards C. So they've managed to completely bait a rotation out of the defense here. Now they're pushing in. It's just going to be Cypher alone on this site.
Well, we've seen how deadly Zany can be when outnumbered. If you're Legion, you'd be wary of that Cypher, and yeah, that's the appropriate way to be wary. Put a bullet through his head. Take care of business. This barrier going to block off any approach from Garage. Spike is down. It's up to Dire eSports now to make their approach from their spawn.
Ooh, Anorexic manages to pick up Azuliate, and Zimbat goes in aggressive, but in the end, Struct is there to punish. Now it's just a matter of cleanup here. It's going to be really hard to retake the site with what's left.
Struct plugging away into the Garage. Take a bit of fight, but in the end, Anorexic moving onto the point, picking up their second kill of the re-engage. Reason down, but Anorexic's still online, but pokes the gun out in front of Ilu, and that's not something you want to do. This Omen is having a wonderful game, and Legion not letting Dire eSports get off to any kind of significant lead in the second half.
Yeah, we're looking into a close one. We're actually going to see another eco round coming out. Maybe? I don't know. They've bought armor, but they're still running the pistols. I guess they're going to have enough money to be able to buy rifles, so they're... No, we're seeing some of that armor disappear. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I don't like mixed buy rounds. I don't like, you either commit to it or you don't, and it looks like they are committing to the eco here, so just some power pistols, a lot of frenzies in play. Maybe they try and get a gun for Reason, who does have armor. But again, they're spread out, playing for picks, trying to get an opening into this round. They want to steal a gun more than anything else.
We're seeing a familiar setup from Legion, poking around the outside, looking what's available to them. And Aldrone spotting Pax hiding, they're just taken down. They at least know the Omen is hovering over on C. Just biding their time, but a minute left on the clock, they're going to have to go soon.
Yeah, they're going to have to commit to something here.
No more charges left.
Looks like A might be the ghost. Struct moves up ahead, sees some cover and says, nah, I'm not going to go with this, but has the showstopper, so could get in and clear off the point if Dire eSports is not wary. In the end, they will be repositioning. And now we're seeing some aggression. Legion making the way towards A. They've got the Garage on lockdown. They're through. Orbital strike will prevent the default planting position as Reason sits in the cover. Moves strict from the fight. Anorexic follows up onto Chars. Quick double kill though from Ilu. Going to level out the odds. That will allow the room for the spike to be planted. They get down to 12 seconds left on the clock. It had to be done. Now the onus on Dire eSports. Can they get the job done in the 3v3?
Well, there's a couple of... All the guns... Yeah, the team, actually, they're not fully gunned up yet. Omen's still just using a frenzy. But, that smoke providing a position to fire on. Blind spraying in there, picks up one in the end, but not enough to get it done. They will get that attacking round down, so 8 all the scores.
Legion draws level yet again. This half looking a little bit better for them at the start, and hopefully that momentum pays off for them. They might be looking to actually go into the lead for the first time in this match, in this round. It can be done, and look, if they take the lead at this point, Poronis, I think they might be the favourites to win.
Yeah, I mean, they've put in a great performance here, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of investment into this round, on the other hand. 2 ops being bought here does mean... 2 ops being bought by Dire eSports does mean that they're in a vulnerable position. However, it pays off.
Indeed, Zimbat opening up onto Struct, and we could see Pax has a... sorry, it's not Pax, sorry, it's Zany has the op of their own. Sorry, it isn't Zany. I'm getting really confused. It's Reason on the Brimstone over on C. Sorry, I saw them take down the spy cam and thought, oh, there's a Cypher over there, but no.
Yeah,
so Legion knows where the ops are, I think. They've seen them both, one at A, one at C. So B might be the go.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, they are setting up for B, but I mean, just because you're set up for B doesn't mean you get through there. Already we're seeing the rotation as soon as the utility comes down. And this Cypher from behind could be absolutely devastating.
Well, the initial utility has one off. The point is clear. Zany marching in, picking up 2. The neural theft, highlighting where that Sage is, and Jars will not be long for this world. All the attackers down, just the defuse to happen as Dire eSports, they go shopping. Seeing what's available on the ground. There you go. So they invested heavy into that pyroness, but it paid off in the end.
Yeah, as I said, like if they'd lost that round, lost those ops, their economy would have been absolutely shattered. But the superior guns win out, and then some. They don't lose anyone in the round, and
This is a nice.
that's going to set the members here of Legion back into another power pistol round.
Power
Actually,
pistol plus
I will
ult.
find you.
They've
Yeah.
all got ult on
They do have ults, so I guess yeah, they must be trying to win this one. I don't like this sort of half buy. I don't think it usually pays off, but they're committing to it, so they must be planning to use those ults to make up the difference there. They need to get some early picks and get those guns, though.
Hunter's Fury forcing Reason. I was a little wary of two players trying to take on an op, but in the end, the kills will be coming through for the side of Legion. The Resurrection ensuring they have a numbers advantages, and they march into C, get the spike planted. They've got positioning, and they've got a fair bit of utility to work with, but it cost them 4 ults to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that said, if you win the round, it's well worth it, but this could be their death throes if it doesn't. Oh, and that jet...
Pops in the Blade Storm, removing Fate. Struck, hiding around the corner, not quite going to get the job done. And now she was on the other foot. Dire eSports has control of the site. Nimbat here with the op, firing through. Actually doesn't take anyone out. Popping back in with the third with the Sheriff. And Legion evening things out.
And that's such a big round for Legion to pick up because they invested so heavily into that to make it happen. Now they're in a position they can... Well, they can buy, even then, they're not able to fully buy everything they'd want. Anorexic's not going to be able to get both armor and a rifle. No way to cut it there. And unfortunately for them, the members of Dire eSports are in such a great position economically that... Sorry, the other way around. The members of... I'm getting my...
Dire eSports on defense, Legion on attack.
Yeah. So the defenders are in a great position economically. The attackers... Yeah, Anorexic not able to get both a gun and a rifle, so he's going to go for the full save here. Maybe try and recover something. I just get thrown off because the colours on the scoreboard do not match the colours in game. Right, please.
And a bit of time being taken. Seeing Ilu poking around Garage, as Ilu is wont to do. Been there a few times this match. Knows there's an op there and thinks, no, I'm not taking that fight. Oh, that's a bold repositioning from Pax. We'll be shut down. But now, a little bit of time wasted off the clock. Legion only 50 seconds left. They've got to do something and do it now. And Struck taking Zimbat. That might be the something they need.
Yeah, it's rough to be the first frag here. Struck picks up another as well. This is not the position you want to be in. We've got two cameras looking at each other in Garage, which is quite entertaining, but...
There was a nice repositioning using the ult by Ilu there to get into A Heaven, stopping any kind of push from up there. It's a spike going down courtesy of Jars. Good site lockdown from Legion. Dire eSports going to be difficult for them to re-engage, especially with the numbers clearly in Legion's favour.
Yeah, I think you surely just have to, especially Anorexic down, you've got to just save, surely. Reason is just getting out of here with the op.
No, I ain't having a lick of this, says the Brimstone. Checking their corners, because you don't want to give up the op cheaply. But Legion, they're on the warpath, and they are taking the lead for the first time in this match. Bring it back. Going 0-3 down, and now up 10-9. I'm loving this turnaround.
And Reason gets hunted down by Jars.
Yep, that will be Legion taking the lead for their first time in this match. 3-round wins away from sealing the deal and staying undefeated in the tournament.
Yeah, and that is the stakes for both of these teams here. This, especially in this round of Swiss, this can be the difference between being able to qualify for playoffs and not. So, a lot of pressure here on them. And again, we're seeing the members here of Dire eSports. They're not actually buying into this round. Okay, they're actually... Yeah, they're going to eco. They got the power pistols.
Zimbat sitting in the dark cover, picked off Structure, just wandered through, thinking they had nothing to fear. Zuliate answers back, picks up to Ilu, moving Zany. Headshot plenty this red. Anorexic got 2. Stayed alive. So the defense has still got something in this. The spike is going down, but it's all up to the Sage. They've got the resurrection. Can they find a teammate to bring back into the fight?
I mean, they might be able to, but no one's got any guns except for what's within sight there, so it almost isn't worth investing because they ecoed this round. It's power pistols. I think you just try and win the 1v2. Anorexic has been a really solid player on this roster if anyone's going to make it happen.
They might be caught too close to the spike here.
The tripwire. Oh, that's rough.
And then Jar's going to be finding Anorexic there. Maybe a little too aggressive there, because, I mean, at a certain point, you're not going to get the spike diffused, and the attackers are going to know exactly where you are when you're diffusing it. So that aggression may come back to bite Dire eSports in the arse.
Maybe. I mean, she could have made it out with the gun, I suppose, but in the end, it was an eco round anyways, so I don't think they were... They didn't invest much into it. They were prepared to drop that round. I think, yeah, you could have made it out with the gun, but you're going to have the money to buy the next round anyways. I don't see the risk in going for it and maybe pulling off the clutch play.
Okay, fair enough. Well, there's the clutch. Anorexic coming back swinging in the next round. Ilu removed that op, proving so deadly. And, I mean, when you get that op into the hands of a frightful player like Anorexic, watch out.
They get struck as well, so the attack already starting to falter. We're seeing some rotations from the defense now. They're hunting for the spike.
Pack's going to walk into Fate's sightline. Reason, get in the back line, spotting out Azuliate. This is a weird mixed bag of positioning on the map. There's players all over the place. Char's finding Zany at the back of the C site. Reason coming back from the attacker squad. Maybe get confused. May go for a spike plant of their own. But no, we'll be taking down Jar, spotting that one out. A 1v2, Sage v Sage. Get the fear. Zimbat, this is a Sage duel.
Your duty is not over.
This is rough.
Even the
playing into the op here, though, is really rough. And now the wall comes down. That's smart. I like that. That allows them to recover the spike, because they were not going to get it outside of that.
It's a mad rush to see. The attackers get there first. They've got positioning, and they're going to lock down the entryway.
Oh!
Runs through garage. Zimbat finding Azuli at the spike down. But Zimbat finishing the job. That will see the defuse come through. Dire eSports staying in touch.
Yeah, and a parting gift from Zany there. A tripwire laid down at the start of the round on C. Ends up running afoul of Jars and helps close that one out. 11-10 the scoreline here. Everything... I mean, it's all going to come down to this. Everything is so close here. And the question here, Ilu doesn't have the money... Ilu could buy armor and Jars could buy a gun for them. So, and yeah, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So they will be able to invest into this. Both of these teams, their economies are stretched. There is a slight advantage for the members of Legion. Slightly better economically, but it's a very small difference now.
And you want to be careful. You don't want to be giving away a free round, going to match point, and then not have the money to defend that point. Ghost Stopper out construct, and then find anything, finds it blindly around the corner. In the end, will be taken down as the orbital strike streams down on top of the body to make sure that Raze is crispy fried. Ilu finding Reason. A little bit of revenge as Legion is on the point. They've got the spike ready to play, but Anorexic finding one. Zany following up. It's taken down for the effort. Ilu with the third kill of the round has the spike, has to get it down. Oh, teleports across to A. They're so smart. Oh, Dire eSports now way out of position, so the spike getting down essentially for free.
Yeah, that's a good move there, because it was going to be rough to try and get that plant, knowing that the defense was tightly there. Now they're going to have to come in. They're wrapping around. The question will, of course, be where do they push in from? They're going to be coming from spawn through both A long and through sewers.
Does Legion know they're coming from the attacker spawn? Because they're both facing backwards.
Yeah, they are. They're going to work it out soon. That utility being invested there is going to let them know, but good utility there. Defuse halfway done. This is going to be so close.
Oh, Fates finds Pack Zimbat with the counter onto Illude.
Oh, he's got two, but no time!
Oh, no! Legion go on to match point, but they did not expect that attack from their own spawn.
Yeah, they weren't ready for that one. The rotation comes around. It's just... Oh, it's so close here now, and I mean, this is where the economy comes into play, though, because the Legion's slightly better economy means that they're able to properly buy the guns they want, and the members here of Dire eSports, they're not in a position to pick up everything they want here, which is rough already. Like, they're not only are they facing match point against, but they don't have the weapons they want. Azulia takes down Reason there. It's one of the weaker weapons off the table, but there's still some very suboptimal loadouts here.
You will not kill my allies.
Pax looking for an opportunity to punch someone full of buckshot. Reason brought back into the fight in all 5 members of your team if you want to hold off Legion. For they are many. There's 5 of them ready and waiting. Here comes the Hunter's Fury sweeping through, clearing some space. There's a bit of a dance going on.
I know exactly where you
as the defenders try and dodge it. Neural theft out from Azulia, identifying exactly where the defense is holed up. Struct taking Anorexic out of the fight. Azulia with their 3rd spike going down. This could be it. Legion, the 5v2.
Ooh, Illu.
Oh, Zimba gets killed in the middle of the Blade Storm. It is all down to Pax. Can they get the job done? No, Jars will march to the wall. That would be Legion sealing their undefeated run in this tournament. They go into next week 4-0.
And that's a great place to be if you are trying to get through to those playoffs. Really great performance there from both of these teams. Dire eSports, they really fought for this one. It was a close, hard match between these teams. But in the end, not able to make it through. And just a bit of a comment from one of the Legion players post-match saying Dire eSports are one of the most aggressive teams in OCE. And definitely that aggression was working for them at times, but at other times it did sort of backfire on them. So we see a lot of decisive engagements, very close matchup. In the end, Legion are able to win out.
They were, they were very, very, particularly on that attack, making their way onto the site as soon as the round started. It was quite difficult for Legion to counter, especially once they went down those couple of rounds and the economy wasn't in their favor. But as we saw, once they got their economy back in hand, they were almost unstoppable, bringing themselves back into the match. And I mean, look at that scoreboard. Illu leading the way, absolutely chowing down on their opponents. And it shows up with that 25-15 KD.
Yeah, but we've got to give it out to Jars as well, who was having a pretty strong performance on their own. They may not have gotten as many kills, but with 12 assists, you can see just how many fights Jars is getting a significant amount of damage in on, as well as really clutching out a lot of the time. There was more than a few rounds where Jars was the last person alive and made magic happen, so definitely have to give it up to them as well.
Well, both of the stages making magic happen. Anorexic, the top fragger for Dire eSports, and some amazing clutch players coming out from them, and that's so good to see coming out from a Sage. Usually maybe the least impactful player on the team, or someone who's just pushed into the support role saying, yeah, we don't think you can frag out, just stay in the back and heal us. But Anorexic, not afraid to get their hands dirty, and often, I guess, playing that more protective sort of role, is the last player alive, and they made it work sometimes when they were last.
Yeah, I mean, a Sage that frags out is a Sage that's rezzing your teammates more often, so definitely it plays out well. Regardless, that's going to be the end of our matches for this evening. I hope you've all had a enjoyable time We'll be back next week for the third week of Swiss and the 5th and 6th rounds of the Swiss bracket here, as we start to get towards the pointy end of things. So stick around. We'll be back next week with more OC Valorant goodness.
Indeed, we will. Make sure you're checking out all the Amateur Oceanic Esports socials, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, etc. The website, join the Discord for all the latest information on the Valor Cup and every other tournament we run. Of course, we run both Valorant and Overwatch tournaments, and we're still deciding whether or not we're an organization that is a Valorant organization or Overwatch organization. You look at the player stats, it's relatively even. I'm just kidding. We're going to support both games because we just want all players in the Oceanic region to enjoy themselves regardless of what they play. And finally, make sure you're checking out My Republic for your MBN needs if you are a gamer. They're the #1 gaming internet provider in Australia.
Exactly. And lastly, if you would like to participate in some fun casual Valorant action, AoE does run a regular pickup game every Sunday night. So feel free to come along to the Discord, sign yourself up for that role so that you can be pinged on Sunday night to remember to come along and do some Valorant pugs. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. So until then, it's going to be goodbye from myself, from Temporal, and our producer, Abby. Stay safe, everyone. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you all real soon.